Clinical negligence at its heart is a claim brought by a patient against a medical practitioner in respect of the care that has been provided to them. This is often referred to as a sort of three-stage test. The first stage in that test is that a patient or potential claimant has to demonstrate that the medical practitioner owed them a duty of care. Secondly, they have to show that that medical practitioner breached that duty of care. And thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, that that breach of duty caused the injury or harm for which they now seek redress. So the two-part liability test consists, as I've said, of breach of duty and causation of injury. In order to succeed in a claim for clinical negligence, a claimant must overcome both parts of that test. If they fail on either limb, then the claim in its entirety fails. What constitutes breach of duty has been defined and then subsequently refined by the courts over a number of years in a number of seminal cases. But broadly speaking, a claimant will be able to establish breach of duty against a medical practitioner if they can show that that practitioner failed to provide care or failed to act in a manner which would be supported by a reasonable body of professionals in the same field. What that means at its heart is that if you are a GP, you will be judged by the standard of a reasonably competent GP, whether you've been in the job for a week or a couple of decades. The second part of the liability test is what we call causation, as it's often described as the but-for test. And by that I mean, but for the alleged breach of duty, would the injury have happened? If the injury would have happened in any event, irrespective of the alleged breach of duty, then the claim fails. However, if the claimant can demonstrate that it was the breach of duty that led to the harm now complained of, the claim is successful. In the first instance, if one of our members is contacted in respect of a potential claim, the first thing that they need to do is to contact the MDU, and we can then support you through every step of that process, be it an initial complaint, or if the claim proceeds to perhaps formal court proceedings, we will be there every step of the way to guide you through that process and lessen the burden and any stress that it may bring as much as possible.